Live from the campus of Penn State University, this is PSN News. It's Wednesday, March 20th. We have updates on animal cruelty charges facing a Center County man, as well as more on the announcement of the 2025 THON Executive Director.
We also have more on a Pennsylvania shooter being detained in New Jersey, along with entertainment, sports, and weather. Stay tuned. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Marianna Daniele.
And I'm Shannon Tanczos. Penn State THON took to Instagram on Saturday to announce its executive director for 2025. Keegan Sobchak previously served on the executive committee as the logistics director for THON 2024. He was also a 2-year hospitality committee member, the Theta Chi primary THON chair, and a dancer throughout his 4 years involved with the world's largest student-run philanthropy. Sobchak will be responsible for serving as a liaison between THON, Four Diamonds Families, and Penn State Health Children's Hospital.
For the first time in 4 years, the University Park Undergraduate Association at Penn State will see a contested election for student body president. On March 27th, students can choose between 2 running parties. Roman Bahadur Singh and Jackson Carmichael's campaign will focus on internal reform and community reconnection, while Zion Sykes and Rasha El-Wakil emphasize affordability, advocacy, sustainability, and diversity. This historic election offers students a direct voice in their representation, promising change and enhancing student engagement.
A Center County man is looking to face 2 months to a year in jail after animals were found neglected or dead on his farm. 30-year-old Levi Byler had police called on him in January 2023 for a report of a dead horse lying in a field for a week. He also has horses, sheep, and cows on the farm that had little to no food or water and minimal shelter. The court additionally ordered 2 years of probation, with state police having access to his property to ensure the safety of his animals, and a $1,500 fine.
Dashcam footage reveals a Pennsylvania state police officer punching a man. This incident occurred at a traffic stop in Center County after a high-speed chase. The altercation involved Derek L. Ramey, who was allegedly punched at least 9 times by troopers during his arrest in Boggs Township. The Pennsylvania State Police have launched an internal investigation into the conduct of the officers involved. Ramey, charged with multiple offenses, including fleeing and DUI, remains free on bail. A hearing is scheduled for April 4th as his defense argues the evidence was collected through illegal activity. The first day of spring was yesterday, but will we see warmer temperatures coming our way? Filippo Formica with Campus Weather Service has more details on what to expect. Take a look.
From the students of the Department of Meteorology and Atmospheric Science, here is your Penn State Campus Weather Service forecast.
Good evening, PSN. I'm student meteorologist Filippo Formica here with your Wednesday evening forecast. Taking a look back on Beaver Stadium today, it was kind of a switch of pace between clearer skies and clear skies all day long as we had multiple bands of rain move through the area today. We did see some clearing in the early afternoon, followed by yet another shower around 2:15. So just a back and forth battle between the moisture and the clearer skies today. That as a cold front moved through the area, and we can really see that in our high temperatures today. 35 in Bradford and Franklin, meanwhile 62 in Philadelphia. And we're going to continue to see this cold front sweep through the state, dropping those temperatures in southeast Pennsylvania as well. Let's take a look at our current satellite and radar here. We saw a pretty good shower moving through Scranton earlier. That is now starting to move out of the state. Right behind that are some showers that are more frequent but a lot less intense, and Bradford and Franklin going to be seeing those showers every 15 minutes or so as they come off of Lake Erie. That lake effect machine really starting to churn here in the northwest portion of the state. And as we look out to the west, we do see some clearer skies, so relief is on the way from this very messy last couple of days before our next system starts to get going here off to our west. That will be impacting our Friday night and Saturday morning. So take a look at this system moving off here. Let's time out our next system for this weekend. You can see some clearer skies on Thursday. That's going to be a big relief here from the last couple of days. But just off to our west, we see this northern piece of energy, mostly snow, but looking like we're going to be just a tad too warm for any snowy precipitation. And we have another piece of energy off to our south that'll be coming up this way as well. This is Friday, early morning hours here, and as we move into the evening hours of Friday, you can see that rain engulfing the state. Snow maybe along the northwestern shoreline near Lake Erie, but mostly going to be a ski country snowstorm here. Meanwhile, most of the state will be experiencing moderate to heavy rainfall, especially in the southeast, where we could be seeing some of those rain totals get up towards an inch, especially near Philadelphia. As we move through this storm system, you can see those yellows moving through Philadelphia and the eastern portion of the state. That's that heavier rainfall really moving through before this storm starts to slide off the coast here. And we do see the potential for some clearer skies moving into our Sunday. But first tonight, we have that flurries and cloudiness that we've been seeing over the past few days. Low of 23, winds 15 to 20 miles an hour out of the west, but could be a little brisk out there, 35-mile-an-hour gusts as well. Tomorrow, still going to be breezy, 37 degrees, but a little bit more sunshine there as we see those mostly clear conditions start to move in. Before we get to our little rainmaker on Friday and Saturday, mostly going to be an overnight event, especially here in State College, before we get into the start of next work week, where we do have a bit of a warm-up coming, 55 here on Monday with some clear skies. So some relief in sight from this cooler and wetter pattern that we've been seeing as of late. So I hope we have a lot of warmer weather to look forward to. I hope you all have an amazing day. Good night.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Mac Abram with your sports update. We kick off at Medler Field, where one of Penn State's baseball's fan-favorite promotional nights has returned. The first of many annual Tuesday Dollar Dog Nights was last night, and they sold over 2,000 hot dogs. Last season, the program announced they sold over 13,000 hot dogs across 5 Tuesday night games. This season's first Dollar Dog Night came after the Nittany Lions played their first home series and took the series win over the UMass Lowell Riverhawks. The next Dollar Dog Night is set for Tuesday, March 26th against Pitt. Moving over to the court, where the Lady Lions will be dancing. Penn State's women's basketball team secured a spot in the 2024 Women's Basketball Invitation Tournament as a #1 seed. The Lady Lions, fresh off an outstanding regular season, will host George Mason on Thursday, March 21st at the Bryce Jordan Center. This marks PSU's first invitation tournament appearance since the 2017 to 2018 season. Despite just missing out on the NCAA tournament, Penn State's exceptional performance this season earned them a top seed in the WBIT. For those unable to attend, ESPN Plus will be streaming the preliminary rounds live. Tip-off is set for 6 p.m. The Major League Baseball season has begun international style. The San Diego Padres and the Los Angeles Dodgers are set to make history as they've traveled to Seoul, South Korea to kick off the 2024 MLB season in the Seoul Series. This groundbreaking event will see the Padres and the Dodgers face off in a 2-game affair, both today and tomorrow, making it the first regular season MLB game played in Korea. For the Dodgers, this marks the season debut of star players like Shohei Ohtani, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and Tyler Glasnow. For the Padres, it will be a full-circle homecoming for Korean star Ha-seong Kim, playing in his old stadium where his career began 10 years ago. That's all for your sports update. After the break, Marielle Reese will have the latest in the world of entertainment. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Marielle Reese with your entertainment update. The Berkey Creamery's 7th annual Flavor Madness bracket is now open for voting. Students are encouraged to vote every Monday for the next 4 weeks to decide what the 2024 Scoop Champion ice cream flavor will be. All participants will receive a Berkey Creamery discount code after voting. Voting is open every week from Monday at 10 a.m. to Friday at noon. Participants will also be entered into a drawing to win 6 pints of free ice cream. Speaking of fun events on campus, our Jaden Vogel is live in the studio now with more details on a unique St. Patrick's Day event. Jaden?
Thanks, Marielle. The Center for Spiritual and Ethical Development held an educational and entertaining St. Patrick's Day event at the Pascarella Spiritual Center last Thursday. I had the chance to talk to the event coordinator and join in on the Irish fun. Let's take a look. I'm outside of the Pascarella Spiritual Center while students are inside learning the importance of St. Patrick's Day. The Pascarella Spiritual Center is home to the Center of Spiritual and Ethical Development. They provide a haven for students and faculty alike, fostering a warm and inclusive space where individuals can embrace a diverse community of faith traditions. Today from 1 to 4 is the second annual St. Patrick's Day event put on by the CSED and is open to students and faculty.
It's here to celebrate the religious and cultural meanings behind St. Patrick's Day, not just the drinking culture around St. Patrick's Day. Celebrates his work done in Ireland as a missionary as well as a religious leader at Armagh. It has also become a part of Irish identity. So here in the United States, it's also a celebration of Irishness and being Irish.
They are joined by the Orthodox Christian Fellowship. Not only were there learning opportunities, but there were games, pastries, and prizes to win as well.
In conversations and letting people learn more about how it's not just a holiday to wear green and go drinking, it's got a lot of importance to a lot of people in many different ways.
As we celebrate the rich traditions and vibrant spirit of St. Patrick's Day here at Penn State, let us remember the importance of the celebration of the Irish culture. With PSN News, I'm Jaden Vogel. This was the second annual St. Patrick's Day event held by the Center for Spiritual and Ethical Development, and they are planning to continue to celebrate and further community connection. Back to you, Marielle.
Thanks, Jaden. The Ross Student Farm is hosting a Garden Grow How event this coming Monday, March 25th. The Ross Student Farm encourages all students to attend this event regardless of gardening experience. It will take place in the Hub Heritage Hall from 6 to 8 p.m. There will be activities like gardening ideas for students who live in dorms or apartments. All who attend will be able to take their own succulent plants home, as well as have the opportunity to win a student-made clay pot as a door prize. In national entertainment news, Ariana Grande officially released her highly anticipated album, Eternal Sunshine, on March 8th. Eternal Sunshine has broken numerous records, including making Grande the first woman to have 7 songs debut as #1 on the Hot 100. Grande's 98-year-old grandma, who's featured on the album, also broke the record for being the oldest person to be on the Billboard Hot 100. That's all for your entertainment update. Coming up next, interview anchor Isabel Hulse will be speaking with Riley Evans, the former president of the Alpha Phi sorority. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Isabel Halls, and our guest today is Riley Evans, the past president of Alpha Phi sorority. Thank you so much for coming in tonight, Riley.
Thank you so much for having me.
So how did you get involved in Alpha Phi?
Yes, so my experience in college looks very different now that I'm a senior than it did when I was a freshman. I originally came into college and I was on the Penn State Lionettes dance team, and I came in during COVID. So college looked very different and it was really hard to meet people. So throughout my entire freshman year, I stayed on the dance team and was just trying to network as much as I could. But by my sophomore year, I just realized that I really wanted to utilize all of the opportunities that Penn State has. And you know, my sister, she went here and she was in Greek life and she loved it and had a great experience. So I thought it would just be a great start for a way to expand my network.
Awesome. So what made you want to become president? Because getting a late start to the Greek life is kind of hard, but like what made you want to do that?
Yeah, so since I didn't go through the recruitment process till my sophomore year, I actually think that was what made me want to be president. I wouldn't necessarily say I felt behind. All of the girls made me feel extremely welcome, but I've always been interested in leadership, and I really wanted to dive headfirst into the experience and make as much as I could of the 2.5 years I had instead of really the 3.5 years. And I thought, what better way to get involved than just try to dive headfirst? And you know, I talked with a lot of past leadership and tried to get as much experience under my belt and make as many connections as I could right away, so that people at least knew who I was and knew that I had good intentions with potentially letting me lead the entire chapter. So it was an opportunity that I wouldn't necessarily say I was the most prepared for, but it taught me so much and I couldn't be more grateful.
Great, Riley. Thank you. So What does being president look like in a week-to-week setting?
Yeah, so I definitely was a little caught off guard when I first joined and, was granted my role. It's a lot of email-based. You're not just in touch with a group of girls in an executive board that's your age and in college, but you're working with a lot of adults, whether that's in the national executive board. Our advisor, who she's a volunteer and she works really closely with us as well. So a lot of it is just a lot of delegating and really just communicating with all of those older adults in different branches outside of what's actually happening at Penn State. There's a lot of coordination that goes a lot farther on just the girls that are happening in the executive board. So it taught me a lot of patience, and it was a great way to learn to communicate with people that were older than me, and I learned a lot from them.
So what do you think that being the president taught you in the real world, like how to communicate with like adults that are much older than you and stuff like that?
Yes, so now after college, my post-grad plans, I'll be working for a Big Four consulting firm, and so I had that internship actually while I was Penn State Alpha Phi president as well. So I was doing two new things at the same time, so I was kind of learning from each of them and being able to apply skills from both of them to the other. And, being president, I think it definitely taught me that patience and communication for sure. I learned a lot of respect for those who were older than me that took the time to teach me, and I think that made me a lot more relaxed when I was learning in my internship, because that can be extremely intimidating to just go into the real world. So having some of that knowledge and wisdom from those that I was working with in Alpha Phi really helped propel me for the real world. I think it also made me a lot more sure of myself and gave me a little bit of a boost of confidence before I, fully step out post-grad.
Great. Well, congratulations on your internship.
Thank you.
So how are you guys involved with the school? Do you do any philanthropic events?
Yes, so we are, just like every organization in Greek life on campus, we are involved in THON, which is amazing. And then we also have our own philanthropic event, which is the Alpha Phi Foundation, and it supports women's heart health and then also innovative leadership opportunities for our members. So we have a leadership institute in Disney World where we send one of our members who gets to go with all other Alpha Phis across the country. And it's basically just a weekend of mentorship and leadership training where they get to learn from a bunch of different experts. And then the Red Dress Gala is one of our biggest events that supports our philanthropy, but we do a bunch of events year-round, which also supports women's heart health.
Great. So you touched a little bit about THON. So what do you guys do for that, and how do you go about going to that?
Yes, so we try to make a clear distinction between our own philanthropic events and then also THON events, and we try to diversify them so that we can keep people really excited and engaged. We are paired with another organization on campus for THON, which I think always creates a little bit more excitement when you're seeing new people and just having a variety of different events. So we do things as little as, for THON, we did some dunk tanks throughout the year. We do like a golf event, and we just try to also bond as much as we can with our families as well. We went bowling with them. So there's just a variety of opportunities through THON as well as our own philanthropy as well.
Cool. So I know you guys just started getting in the swing of things with buying a house. So you guys were the first sorority to buy a house on campus. So what was that like?
Yes. So when I came into office for my term, the house was already bought, but we weren't 100% sure if we were going to go through with it. So it was very, very chaotic. I was kind of thrown into talking with landlords and interior designers, and it was just a whole new world for me as something that I've never been a part of. But it was such an amazing thing to see, like in real estate, and learn about that, because that's something I've never been exposed to. But I absolutely loved getting to meet with our Nationals interior designer. She was great, and she was so willing to work with the chapter and listen to our needs and what would work in Penn State culture, because as you said, Penn State has never had a house before, so we're very different than, some of those southern schools where having a sorority house is the norm for them. So they were very willing to work with us on what we needed to accommodate our chapter for, its first years. And I could not have been more excited and happy to see it in August. I saw it like right before we moved into school, and it was, gorgeous, exceeded all my expectations. And we've been adapting, but it's been going rather well. And I'm just super excited for the chapter to see where it takes them, because I think it'll really bring them closer together and bring them so many more new opportunities.
Do you think that's going to become a trend at Penn State?
I do. I think in the near future, I think at least within like the next 5 or so years, I think a lot of other chapters are going to be looking at housing. The dorms have kind of been shown to not be the most feasible option long term, especially with how Penn State does spring recruitment. And I do know a few other sororities have been looking on campus as some houses start to become available. So I do think, I don't know how fast, but I definitely think it will be a trend in the near future, which I'm so excited for.
Awesome. And lastly, Riley, what is some tips you have for people who are joining Greek life?
I would say Greek life is something that you get out of it what you put into it. So if you know that that's something where you really want to meet all the people that are around you and you want to gain from those that you're surrounding yourselves with, don't be afraid to dive in head first, even if it's something you've never done before. A lot of the times, even if it's not for leadership positions in Alpha Phi or whatever sorority you may be in, there are so many other girls that are in the same major as you and doing other clubs and organizations that you could potentially see yourself in. So I think just keeping an open mind and just really trying to learn from those around you and pretty much be a sponge is the best thing that you can do.
Awesome. Well, Riley, thank you so much for coming in tonight and telling us more about your experience with Alpha Phi. Now stick around because coming up next, Shannon and Marianna will have the latest news across the nation.
After being suspected of fatally shooting 3 of his family members in the Philadelphia area, Andre Gordon Jr. was arrested in Trenton, New Jersey on Saturday. 26-year-old Gordon is believed to have killed his stepmother, the mother of his children, and his teenage sister in Falls Township. After fleeing in a stolen car, Gordon drove to Trenton, where he primarily stays, according to police. While Gordon had previous minor encounters with the law, Falls Township Police Chief Nelson Whitney said that nothing would indicate that anything like this would happen.
Early Sunday morning in Washington, a shooting in the Shaw neighborhood left 2 dead and 5 injured. Police are currently searching for a single gunman responsible for the incident. All victims are adults and have been taken to local hospitals. This violence contributes to the District of Columbia's growing violent crime rate, which has increased by 39% in 2023. Chief Pamela Smith is urging legislation for stricter gun offense penalties.
Albuquerque's police department launched an internal investigation related to possible corruption in the department's DWI unit. Since then, a 4th officer has resigned. Documents found by the Albuquerque Journal revealed the investigation began after a stop by an officer last year in which he allegedly told a driver to contact a specific attorney to ensure that a case would not be filed. 5 officers have also been placed on administrative leave while the investigation carries on.
Ohio Governor Mike DeWine declares a state of emergency in 11 counties after severe storms leave 3 dead in Logan County. DeWine also activated the Ohio National Guard to assist with cleanup efforts. The storms, which occurred last week, caused widespread damage in Kentucky, Indiana, and Arkansas. The National Weather Service confirmed 9 tornadoes in Ohio alone, including an F3 tornado with winds reaching up to 165 miles per hour. Damage extends across several other states, leaving dozens injured and homes destroyed. That concludes our show tonight at PSN News.
Be sure to check us out on Twitter and Facebook at PSN News, on Instagram at Penn State Network News, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/PSN News.
Have a good night and stay safe, Penn State.